students, there is not a way to share that. I've got two items created here. I've got a live sample and a scheduled sample.
Hey, Courtney.
I'm gonna go. Yes.
We had a question if we can record this for reference later.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, I already hit record, so just letting everybody know we're being recorded.
Okay, great. I meant to do that at the beginning and it slipped my mind.
It says, please request permission from the meeting host.
I'm recording it. Only the hosts can record.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So we'll send the recording out afterwards so that you guys will have this as well. So I've got two things created here, and I'm just going to go to my live sample, and I'm actually going to go to start because I want to show you guys this. This is really cool. And I'm going to start my session. So if you guys have TurningPoint on your phones, you can open your phone and enter this session ID. It's OIT session 100. Or if you don't, you can open up a new web browser. So I'm going to go down here and open up a new window just so you guys can see this. And I'm going to go to ttpoll. So that was ttpoll, POLL.com. And you guys can log into this as well. And give it a second. And when you log in, I've already logged into this once, but it'll prompt you for your net ID and password. And you'll type in this OIT session 100. So just like you would give a mobile session ID out in class. And we're going to join that session. And what you're going to see is presenters getting ready. So you all should be seeing this on your screen. Any questions there, Rachel?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to pull that off screen. I'll pull it back over in a second. But what you can see here is on the top, I see 7 of you guys have gotten in. So you can actually see how many people are in the session currently and be able to monitor that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this started so that we can be cognizant of your guys' time. So I'm going to click Start Session. And now what you guys should see is it should still be saying, let me pull this over here. I'm going to shrink this down a little bit so you can see my screen side by side here. Let me get rid of that. So you will see the session when you will see the question when you're presenting, but it doesn't show up for the students until you hit the play button down at the bottom. So you can have these queued up, ready to go, and you can just hit the play button, and now you will actually see it on your all screens. So if you guys want to go ahead and respond to that, and this works same as on mobile devices. You click the button and your answer is submitted. And what you're going to see is you see how many participants you have, and then you see the number of responses. And I saw it go up and down there. If you click on it again, it takes your answer back. So as long as they have a blue button there, they've answered. So this I actually like a little bit better than the standard TurningPoint because you can actually see the number of people that are logged in and if everyone has answered or not. And I can hit the stop button here. And by default, it doesn't show your results, but you can click this down arrow and you can choose if you never want to show results, review only or always. So I'm going to, for this one, I'm going to say review only. So I can see the answers on screen. Now, the nice thing is, what I really like about this is it's not defaulting this out to your students. So you can choose if you want to share this information with your students or not.
And just a note, someone had asked what the session ID was. It is OIT session 100, and you'll
Yep.
see at the top where Courtney's highlighting right now, it stays up there.
So it just stays up there. So we're going to go on to the next question. And once again, once you go to the next question, it doesn't automatically show up on your student screens. So you can have this prepped, ready to go, and just move forward when you want to. So we're going to hit the play button again, and we're going to see this next question. And this one's actually really cool because you can actually embed images and videos into these questions. And you can actually embed images into answers. So if you want them to pick a certain thing, it's pretty easy to do so. So I have this just as a multiple choice response here. And I can see so far we have 8 people that have responded. Like I said, I really, really like this feature up here that gives you how many people are in and how many people have responded. There we go. We have all 11 have responded. So I'm going to hit the stop button again. And on this one, on the back end, I actually set it to show the results. So you can actually tweak some of your settings on the back end on how the results are shown. So I can see that some of you guys already knew about it, some of you guys didn't, and a lot of you guys think this is great. I think this is a really cool feature. It just makes things really interesting and easy to deliver content on the screen. So I've got one more question here. We can actually do hotspot answer types too. So you can actually put an image on the screen and have the student select a portion of that image as the answer. So I'm going to hit the play button here. And now on our window here, we get to choose what we want. So I asked, where is Knoxville? So you can actually zoom in and you can click anywhere you want. And the neat thing is on your end, you actually see live responses of where people are clicking. So if you don't want to share this, you don't have to. But you can actually show where people are clicking. I see 9 of you have tapped into it. And this works both on web-based as through TT Poll or through the app on their phones. So it's a really neat little tool to do. I've seen a few people use this with like a heart diagram, and they ask where the aorta is. So you can get some ideas on some of the neat things that you can do with this. So I'm going to go ahead and hit stop here to go forward. And what we're going to see now is you see this little orange box that had appeared around here. That's the correct answer box. So you can actually see where people answered, and it would actually set it as a correct answer or not. So it's a really nifty little tool there. And this is all 100% on the web. So you can deliver this from web. It's actually neat. Once we're back in classrooms, if you don't want to deliver this from a laptop and you're a professor that likes to walk around and talk and everything, but want to add connectivity to it, you can actually, because it's completely web-based, deliver this from your phone if you want. So we're gonna hit my next button, and I've reached the end of my content. So I'm done with my session. So I'm actually going to name this. And I'm gonna put the date in here. I'm gonna click end. And your polling will actually go away because I've ended that session. So let me drag this window a little bit bigger. So now I can go in to my results page here. And what I'm going to see in results when it comes up is my answers here, but I'll go to session and we're going to see this session here. And I can go into reports, and it gives me a lot of the same information that you guys see normally in your reports. I can see that I had 1 participant, which was me. I had 10 guests, which I can see if you guys logged in with your TurningPoint account. I can see who you were. If you guys just came in as a guest, it just says guest. But this gives you some really nice abilities. Now, one of the cool things here is under this export, if I click that, it's going to download this whole thing as an Excel file, an Excel file. So if you guys want to manipulate it later on, you can. If I exit out of this,
Courtney,
yes.
we had a question. Can this be connected to Gradebook in Canvas?
So if you go over to Gradebook, and this is the fun part. Now, I don't have this class connected to Canvas. So I'm going to jump out to my other actual Canvas class. This clickers class is actually connected to Canvas. So if I go over to results here, when you click export over here, there is a Canvas export, and this links directly to Canvas just like the TurningPoint desktop app does, and it'll dump these scores in there for you. So yes, that is available. Now, one of the cool things, let me go back into,
And we got a woohoo!
yes. Yeah. Now, so let me go back to results. So one of the nice things here is, now, if you guys are familiar with the desktop app, when we saved it, we had that file on our desktop, and then we had to upload to Canvas and everything. If you're using this web version, it's auto-saved to the web. So when we get back in the classrooms, if you guys want to use this and are using the in-class computers, if you do this on the in-class computer, you don't have to worry about grabbing that file, loading it to a USB drive, or uploading it to OneDrive. It's automatically saved in here. So this goes with your login account. So wherever you are, you've got it. So that's an online live quiz. I'm going to show you one more here because this is the feature I'm actually really excited about. I've got a scheduled sample here. So I can start, I can schedule it. I'm going to go into manage right quick so you guys can see the questions a little bit on the back end.
Courtney,
What was that, Rachel?
we had a couple of folks who said that they wish they could use a sandbox class on Canvas to practice this.
You can, so instead of using a sandbox class on Canvas, because if you don't want to, the only thing that you can't do is upload your grades. What you can do is in your courses tab here, you can go to create course. And I'm just going to call this test 520 and create. And now you have your own course. You can add any participants that you want to it. So if you guys are using this for like a conference, this is how you could pull all your information in for a conference and just have them in this session. So you can create your own courses, and these aren't connected to Canvas. And the only thing that you don't have is a roster and the ability to upload your grades to Canvas.
And speaking of conferences, you want to let them know how they would do that at a conference?
Same way that,
With
that
the
we
guest
would.
accounts.
Yeah, well, like what you guys, some of you guys had that option today. So when you, let me go back into here. And let me go into this one. And you can actually create folders out here to organize your data. So if I go into manage these, actually, I'm trying to remember.
Do we still have guest accounts?
What?
That we can, do we
Oh,
still have?
yeah, we have instructor accounts that I can assign to you all so that you could actually collect information. So, sorry, brain is not.
I was trying to set it as a hint and figured, no, I better just flat out say.
Sorry, I'm one of those people, I can read body language, but literally I'm staring at a screen and can't see anybody. So, so one of the other things I want to show you guys, and this is the one feature I really am excited about for classes, is this scheduled sample. So you can actually create content out here and schedule it. So I'm going to click on my schedule, and you're going to see that I've got a scheduled class out here. So I'm actually going to share this link. So let me copy the link, and I'm going to paste a link in our chat if I can find our chat window. Where? There we go. Okay, so I just pasted a link in the chat, and this will actually take you to a scheduled quiz. So I'm going to go ahead and open it on this other window. So if you guys want to open this as well.
And while everyone is opening that, we had another question. If we put our files in the course we created, the test course, we could move the files to other courses, correct?
Yep.
Just thinking I could make that a master course for using in other courses later.
Yep, because let me go back to the content, why that's coming up for everybody. Your content is not linked to a course. So right now I'm in my OIT test course. So if I go out to courses and go into this brand new test one that I just created, all that content that I've created in other ones is there as well. So the content belongs to you. It does not belong to the course. So once you guys are in to the scheduled sample, this has you have the ability to do the kind of the self-paced quizzes that you used to be able to do with the desktop version of the app. So you get to come in here and answer these all on your own pace. And the nice thing that they've added in recently is the ability to actually upload entire PowerPoint presentations into these and add text fields in between it. So I've actually uploaded part of a Microsoft Teams presentation that Rachel, Steve, another trainer in our office, and I do. And you can see that all this information is in here. It just does an image of each of the PowerPoint slides so that you can upload these in there and then have them be able to look at things. You can have videos so they have to watch something and then answer questions on it. And then you can have short answer. You can do those hotspot type questions. So all the questions that we just did a second ago, you can do on this as well. But you can actually schedule this. What this does, and it's going to be hard for me to show this, but on the phone, if they are registered in your course, they're actually going to get a prompt on their phones saying that a scheduled session is available, so that they know that they have a quiz or whatever that they can log in and do. So let me go back into OIT test here and show you guys the back end of this. So on my schedule here, I can see my scheduled sample, and I can actually go into reports. And this is pretty cool because what I'm seeing right here is my participant and you all have answered. And I can go in here and see live responses of class, of how people are responding. So if I want to make sure that people are responding and working through it, I can come in here when it's open, and you're going to see it says session is still open. Please refresh for results. So if someone else is responding, I can just refresh the page and I get to see their responses as well. So this is a really neat feature. And in the answers, I'm not seeing all those extra slides that I entered. I just see the question slides.
We have a question. Click participant. Does it now show participant results?
Yep. So if I click on my participant, which was just me, I can see me, and this would have everybody in your class. And you can go into details and see how I responded. So you can see how each of your individual students have responded. and you get a drop down up here. If I had more than just me in the class, I could actually go through everybody. And in the case, I can go over here to guest. Oh, come on. There we go. I can go to guest, and April, I'm going to pick on you. I can click on details of April, and I can see how she responded. So even if they aren't fully logged into the system, if they're just a guest, so if you're using this as a conference, you can actually see how people responded. And I can see the total responses here.
Is there a way to also do this for the anonymous questions like you can do in regular turning?
Yep. So let me jump back over here to content. And I'm just going to run you guys through the basic content creation here so you guys can see what this looks like. So on your content tab, and once again, I'm in my OIT test course, I'm going to create content. And I'm going to call this one workshop. We're going to create, and we're going to come up with just a blank screen. And we've got our create button up here. If you click the little down arrow, it's going to give you the options of what you can create. So on these, we have a limited set of questions. We have multiple choice, we have short answer, we have a numeric response, or a hotspot. Those are the only question types that we can use. The other objects that we are our text and our upload PowerPoint. So I'm just going to go in and create a multiple choice right quick. So when it comes up, and give it just a second. It's like on screen shares, it eats a lot of bandwidth to do this. You enter your question type as normal. So we're just going to say, how are you today? And on the top, you get all your standard web interface for your text. So you can adjust your color. You can add bold. You do get a few more options here. So I know, April, for you, these are fun. So you can actually do your subscripts and superscripts. So if you've got equations that you need to put in there, you can use those put in there. There is a special character, so you can add those as well. You've got your images and videos. So if you need to add something in, you can insert those. And here you can enter your responses. And over on the side, you've got your standard options. So this is where you would enter, you could tab for your anonymous responses. Now, when you do that, it takes your points away. So if you want to apply points, you can't have anonymous responses, but you can do that. You also have the option, like the desktop app, to allow multiple responses. So if this is a multiple choice option that more than one answer is correct, say pick all that apply and put in there. And then you can, this is a neat one, allow for participant comment in scheduled sessions. So if you want to add that ability for a student to explain why they chose something in those scheduled sessions, actually turn this on. It won't show in a live session, but if you have this scheduled for afterwards, they could actually type in something so they could explain why they chose what they did. So that's a cool feature there. I'm going to do one more here. I'm going to show the upload PowerPoint. So when you click and import PowerPoint, it's going to tell you a note that the PowerPoint slides will become image upon upload. So any embedded interactive material, so links, videos, those types of things, don't get put into this correctly. So you'd have to recreate those through those text boxes.
Hey, Courtney.
Yes.
We had a question here, and it's, so if two instructors are in the same Canvas course with clicker content that one of them created, do both have access to the clickers through the module? And
both have access through the clickers in the module, yes, but both don't have access to this this web content. this web content. And that's one thing that I know April and I have worked on, and I've worked with TurningPoint on, is right now there's not a way to share this content that we're creating here between multiple users.
Okay,
So
so
each
not on
person would have
web,
to create their own.
not on web, but through modules?
In the modules, it would be available. So if you embedded a scheduled link in a module, it would be available, but only the person that created it would be able to come to the back end and view what they answered.
Okay.
Did that answer the question?
So if we have clicker questions made by one user, could we copy those questions somehow to PowerPoint so we could then share the PowerPoint files?
Yes. So you could create, so if you wanted to, you could create each of these questions essentially in PowerPoint and use either this import PowerPoint or just export those all as images slides and import those slides into here as each individual question. But let me show you. So if I import the slide, let me go here.
But what if they are already in Turning and we want to get what is in Turning into PowerPoint?
Unfortunately, there's not a way to do that right now.
Questions worth points after many of my students did not watch my PowerPoint last semester.
So as you can see, it'll take it for this power presentation to upload. So this is not one of those things you can easily do on the fly to do so. But it does give you that ability. And notice one of the questions in there, if you've got audio in your PowerPoint and you do this import, it's going to break that. What I would recommend with that is if you upload the PowerPoints with all your audio in it and talking points in it, you can reference a question and actually have just a scheduled poll set up so that when you're going through it, it's like, okay, on question 4 on the quiz, please answer this. And you can have that embedded in that PowerPoint that's shared through Canvas and have that link available for them that they just click on it. And as they're watching the PowerPoint, they're going through the quiz on a separate tab. Is
And
how
someone
I
has
would
a
do that.
suggestion, give them points for watching the PowerPoint and adding a comment, and you will see participation increase. Also make PowerPoint no longer than 15 minutes. Found this has made a huge difference for my course. And someone else says, yes, 5 minutes max.
Yeah.
And how did you get that PowerPoint loading from this screen again?
So to load it from this screen, I went to the create, do the drop down, and upload PowerPoint. So yeah, those are good points. A lot of what we're seeing, and that's why we've cut all of our workshops down to an hour workshop. We don't have the attention span to go more than that. Y'all, I get exhausted when I'm sitting here just talking at a screen for an hour. So it's one of those things. Yes, definitely. The shorter you can create some of these, that they can just do these in bite-sized chunks, that's better. That's why I really like the scheduled, because you can actually create a quiz and they can go in and do it during that 2-hour time period whenever they need to. So as we've got the slides in here, you're going to see that I've got all these slides in here that I just uploaded. In between each slide, I can actually go to an ad.
Courtney, we've
Yes.
got a comment. I'm playing with creating math problems and not finding a good editor. What about Microsoft Word or one of the, and just copying and pasting?
Yeah.
Or maybe the OneNote editor and just taking it as a screenshot.
So, yeah, Karen, you and April might want to talk because April has been doing this and she just posted in there in the chat about how they've been using pictures They'll just take pictures of I've already created stuff and put it up here.
Yeah, so it saves a lot of time because you don't have to like recreate a whole bunch of stuff. You just take a snippet and you post it in because you can post the image into the question right there.
That would not be accessible, but as long as you had arrangements for if you've got a student with visual impairments, you should be okay.
Yep. So now on these slides, you can edit the slides. So if you need to add extra text or something here, you can edit it slightly. But like I said, each slide is brought in as an image. So there's limited stuff you can do here.
What about recording the PowerPoint as a movie? Maybe using Camtasia. Just an aside to this, you can actually record your PowerPoint directly through PowerPoint. Can you upload that and ask questions later for points?
Yeah. So you could add, so if I wanted to add just a text box here, you can add in a movie. So you would just need someplace to host it. I know Canvas will do hosting, or if you want to host on YouTube, something, you just need that link address. TurningPoint won't host the movie for you. It'll just allow you to play it through it. So you can add text box in between. You can jump in and add questions in between your slides. So if you need to insert slides in there. One other thing I wanted to do, and then we'll open it up for question and answer. If you go over to settings on this web-based stuff, one of the neat things you can do is actually enable participant view of grades. So if you wanted to allow them to view their points that they've earned through clickers, they'd be able to log into their TurningPoint app and see it. The other thing that you can enable is a review of these sessions. So anything that you've uploaded through the web, they could go back in and review and use it as a study guide, notes, that type of thing. And they would have access to that on the back end. But you do have to enable that for them to be able to see it after the fact. So that's all the general stuff that I had. What questions do you guys have? Feel free to, it's like, if you want me to, I'll leave this screen share up so I can point things out. But what questions do you guys have?
And we actually had one more comment. Bite-sized pieces is a wonderful idea. Over 60 years of memory research has demonstrated the power of this as an efficient learning tool. Technical term is spaced learning in contrast to massed learning.
So feel free to unmute yourselves and ask questions because I know if you guys are like me, we're only talking to a limited number of people, and sometimes it's nice just to talk to people.
Okay, I've got a basic question. I was just trying to type it out, but so very basic. First day, I've got my Canvas up. I've got a module for TurningPoint.
Mm-hmm.
So it used to be students would click in there and register themselves in their device ID. I don't know how that works when it's a mobile device. I don't know.
They would do the exact same thing, except for they don't have to put in a device ID. They would go through the module just the same. What was that?
Are they putting in their phone number?
No, because everything is used through their login. So they could literally jump from device to device if they wanted to, or use mobile or that TT poll. And because it's tagging everything on the login credentials, it doesn't matter what device they're physically on.
So do they have to have the TurningPoint app on their phone, on the device they're using?
They can. They can have the TurningPoint app. It makes it a lot easier because they'll get prompted when you have things scheduled and everything. If they don't, they just have to remember to log in to TT Poll, or they can go to student.turningtechnologies.com to review their account as well. And that information will show up in there.
Okay, so when we did that, when we just started out today and we did that first quiz, and you said that we would have to register and ask, and ask us, our net ID and stuff. Okay, that I didn't get to that screen. I just put in whatever it was, .com, and I could just answer the question. So I showed up as a guest.
Yep.
Um,
So
so-
they'll be prompted. I actually, when I was creating, so in this test class, let me go back to courses. In this test class, I've actually have it set. It's open to anyone
Okay.
can answer. In the actual courses that are linked to Canvas, they're prompted every time to log in.
Okay.
And we've got some licenses that we can loan to folks if you're going to a conference or something like that, where you do want it open to non-UT folks.
Yep.
We can loan some to you for a period of time. That's actually what Courtney's doing right now, is he's using it like this is a conference.
Yeah. Any other questions? Now, well, like I said before, if this is something you guys are interested in exploring and working in your classes, please definitely reach out. I'm happy to do one-on-one Zoom sessions to help you guys get set up and going. The other thing that if you guys want, I can drop in on your first day of classes, as long as I'm not in overlapping sessions, in those Zoom sessions, and be available to answer any student questions with it. So I'd be happy to do that as well. So just reach out to me and we can get that set up.
April, can we talk for a little second?
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm curious, how many in the language department are using the Turning Point technology?
I am honestly not sure because we've been using Turning for so long. I came on as the Turning coordinator 3 years ago. And we already had so many users before then. And unfortunately, it's like on the back end, I don't get to see all the logs of all my instructors because if you guys are using just the mobile version of it and just go out through the website and register, I never realized that you guys are using it. So
I see.
I know we have a few, but I don't know all the names of everyone.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I used to use it in the classroom when we had the clickers more than 10 years ago, and I haven't used it for so long. So I'm curious and just wanted to see. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
So we go through OIT to get one-on-one with you and not email you?
Yeah, if you can email me directly or go through the help desk. The help desk is nice because if I'm not always available, they'll send a ticket over to Rachel. I've also got Jenny Culbertson. She's one of our grad students. She's in this session as well. And so sometimes if I'm not always available, they'll grab a ticket and be able to do a quick response as well. So.
Yeah, you got to remember, Courtney's got 3 kids, so sometimes he's not available.
So.
So do you think it's easier to do this content, this web-based version, right in the Canvas where you're creating, as opposed to creating PowerPoint slides?
You can do it either way. The reason that I like some of the, especially the scheduled type stuff and some of this web-based stuff, is what I've noticed in some of my testing here is when you're using that desktop app along with PowerPoint, along with Zoom, it bogs down our systems quite a bit. When using just the web-based stuff, I've noticed on my CPU usage, I mean, Zoom right now, I'm setting at about 40% usage while not sharing my screen. When I was sharing my screen, it jumps up to about 75% usage. When I added TurningPoint onto that and just testing it personally for myself, I was at about 95% CPU usage, and I noticed Zoom lag a few times. So this gives you the ability to have it on the web so that TurningPoint servers are doing the heavy lifting on everything instead of it coming back to your computer to be able to be building those graphs on the back end and everything. So this, what I've seen is it just seems to help smooth things out a little bit. So especially if you're doing a lot of questions, it just helps smooth things out.
That's good to know. Thanks.
So Rachel, for accessibility, what do you think would be the best thing for us to use for equations if pictures are not going to work?
That would probably be more of an Eric Moore question. He's our accessibility expert. So if you contact the help desk, he can help you with that. But what you might be able to do is just have either a audio recording associated with it where you've got a little recording that's reading the formula, or in the alt text, you could type in the paragraph that would read the formula to the person. And I think that would probably get you where you're going.
Now, on a completely random note with the math formulas, one thing you might be able to try is in OneNote, so another Microsoft product, they actually have the ability to ink equations out, so you can actually write it out physically if you have an iPad or something like that, or you can do it clunkily with a mouse. But then they have a math equation item in there. You just select your equation and it translates it into typed text, and then you can just copy and paste that. It's a little bit more roundabout, but it works really well. And if you're interested in that, let me know and we can look at some of that too.
And someone had mentioned making a recording of your PowerPoint. So instead of investing in Camtasia just because it's so expensive, easy ways to record PowerPoint would be putting your PowerPoint on Zoom and just as a meeting just with yourself and recording that Zoom meeting. Or there's actually an ability in PowerPoint to record your screen. And you can do either way. It's just what you're more comfortable with. But those are two free ways. Well, we're not supposed to say free. Those are two ways that
no
you don't
additional
have to spend
cost
any
to
extra
you.
money. Yeah, no additional cost. That you can record your PowerPoint or your screen.
Also, you can use the studio on Canvas to record the PowerPoint, narrated.
Yeah, and the nice thing with Studio is you could then edit it when you're there. And when you use Studio, it does not take away from the limitation on the file sizes you have in Canvas. You have a certain amount of space you can have on your Canvas course, but when you're using Studio and you've uploaded it that way, that's a whole different amount of file space that you've got.
That was a nice thing. What I've been doing, I've been using, I've been recording with the on-screen recorder in the Canvas studio. So I do my recording of my slides, talking through it and working problems out. And then afterwards you can caption it, and then you can input quiz questions. And so I think that helps with what we were talking about earlier with getting people to do it. You can input the quiz questions right in, and then and hide where they are, so they have to go through it, and then have it in your Canvas gradebook or not. But I really like that idea of creating a video with questions embedded that way.
So yeah, there was a question. If you record in PowerPoint, you can actually edit slide by slide. So every time you go to a new slide, it essentially creates a new audio file for you. So each slide has its own audio file embedded in it. So yeah, so you can go back. If you didn't like the way you said something on one, you can go back and just re-record that one slide instead of having to do the whole thing again.
And I'm going to post a link. I'll be doing a workshop on using Zoom and PowerPoint tomorrow at this same time, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And if you want to join for that, feel free to ask the question about recording, and I can demonstrate there how to record the PowerPoint through that, or you can always do it through Zoom.
So Rachel, is that part of that option 3? There's a package of 4. Is that part of that option 3, or there's some? No. Okay.
Yeah. Are you talking about the boot camp?
Yes.
Yeah. No. These workshops are actually not part of the boot camp. They're just separate ones that our training group does.
Oh, okay. So if we have a clash, because I'll be doing one of those tomorrow, then will we have other opportunities?
Send me an email, and this is my email. And I actually did a one-on-one consultation with someone else who had a clash because of the boot camp. And I can do a one-on-one with Zoom over with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But that's great, Rachel. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, any other questions? Well, I appreciate you all attending, and just let me know if there's anything that I can help you out with. TurningPoint, Rachel's here. Like she said, we've got a PowerPoint class tomorrow, and we're here to help you guys. So if there's something that you're struggling with or just really frustrating you, please reach out. I know Rachel and I sit at our computers pretty much all day when we're not chasing our kids around. But we're happy to help. We're happy to help you guys figure this out, because we're in this together. And we want you guys to know that you guys do have support behind you, that you guys don't have to struggle with this alone. So please let us know what we can do to help.
And I also posted the workshop Jenny is doing on Thursday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And she's doing it on designing your PowerPoint for looking good online. So.
Thanks so much.
Yep. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've got one more basic question, just as I'm thinking about it. So do I need to redo my TurningPoint module in my Canvas course? Has it been updated?
Nope, that TurningPoint module has not changed.
Like from a year ago?
Yep. So it's still using the same back end and everything, because I think it was like a year ago we got what they call an LTI connection. So it's a learning something interaction, and with that we shouldn't have to ever change that module again. So as long as you keep putting that module in there, everything's the same on it.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. All right, I'm going to end our session. Have a good day.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Courtney.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.